Encounter is brought to you by the Broome County Council of Churches, where we connect compassion with needs as we inspire growth with dignity. You'll find us in special places throughout the community. For those who remain hungry, we provide meals. For those who are challenged, we build wheelchair ramps. We comfort those who are ill, minister to those who are confined, and we remain an advocate for change and understanding on behalf of every element of our community. Connect and inspire. Encounter the Broome County Council of Churches.
Friends, welcome to Encounter, sponsored by the Broome County Council of Churches. I'm your host today, Mark Kimpland, the pastor at the Endwell United Methodist Church. It was about a year ago, in April 2016, that we had a program that was going to talk about a new church start in Vestal. And I have asked the co-planters of this new church start, the Reverend John Martin and his wife Crystal, to be with us today for this show to kind of fill us in on all of the things that are happening and the exciting vision and purpose you have. So welcome to the Encounter program. John, your return, and Crystal, your first time. Welcome.
Thanks.
Glad you're here. So it was April 2016 that we sat here and talked about your vision, talked about what was unfolding in your lives as you relocated back home, back in this area and such. And I guess I want to dive right into this because we have so much to talk about and so much has happened over the last 10 months. And I guess my first question to both of you is what's been happening with the new church start? I understand you have the name, you have all kinds of things going on. So I'll throw that out your way. What can you tell our viewers?
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, it's been a busy 10 months. So 10 months ago when we spoke, I was still living in Lake Placid, New York. My church, our church name, by the way, is Foundation UMC. Our church had 5 members. It was myself and Crystal and our 3 children. So we were a tiny church.
A family church.
Yeah, definitely a family church. Since then, we've moved to Vestal, New York. We had to purchase a home, which for United Methodist pastors isn't always the norm, but it was the way that it had to be done, and we were blessed in that process. We were able to purchase a home, to move to Vestal, get our kids enrolled in Vestal schools. So our oldest Emily is going to middle school. Our younger 2, Hannah and Gideon, are attending Glenwood Elementary School. And we began the hard work of recruiting what we called a core team. So in that 10 months, we've recruited a core team of 12 adults. There's about 21 of us, if you count all our children. People who are a part of the core of this brand new church of Foundation UMC, helping to really build what will be and what is becoming. In addition to that core team, we've actually recruited up what we're calling a launch team, or we like to refer to as our dream team. These are the people who are helping us achieve this dream that we've envisioned, but they're also part of our dream team, like that first Olympic basketball dream team. They're the people that we said, man, if we could have anyone helping us, these are the people we wanted. And we have another 30 people on top of that core team who are part of our dream team, 30 adults and their kids. And so if all goes according to plan, when we launch, we'll have 50 to 70 people a part of Foundation UMC who are just people who want to see this vision come to reality, people who are a part of our team. So we've been working hard with the people side of it, but we've been so incredibly blessed by churches like your own, like Endwell UMC, who have said to us, come and speak with us, share your vision, come and be a part of us, and churches like yours who have also said, use some of our space, meet in our space. And so this core team of ours has been meeting for about 9 months on a weekly basis, planning, preparing, taking care of the necessary things that we have to do with that. So it's definitely been a busy 10 months.
Yeah. Now, how did you go about this core team? How did you, I'm sure prayer and discernment and all of that went into it, but how did you pick those first disciples to the core team and such things? Was there a process that you went through on that?
Yeah, I mean, initially it started out with a conversation with Crystal and I, but in reality, we identified 2 members of that core team early on. And so there was really 4 of us in the very, very early going that were praying and discerning. And what we did is we began to expand social networks that we had, friends and connections that we had. Some of the core team actually came out of churches like your own. As a matter of fact, one of your members is a part of our core team. He said, I love Endwell UMC. I'm never leaving, but I really am excited about your vision. I want to help you be a part of that. And so, we brought in some people who just heard about us, but a lot of it came from personal friends and connections that Crystal and I had. Since this is home territory for us.
Wonderful. So when does Foundation UNC begin its Sunday morning worship? I know that 10 months ago we were kind of looking ahead and you kind of had a date on the calendar kind of circled. Where are you in the midst of that?
So we were originally looking at Easter. That was what we had targeted, and we looked at it some more and we decided, April 2nd, that's our start date. Starting a little before Easter, having some time to get people involved before Easter comes, and then it will carry through. So April 2nd, 10:30 a.m. So we're really excited about that, and what God has in store for us and for the whole community.
So as Lent is kind of emerging and we're into that season and such things to kind of prepare the people for the celebration of Easter and moving forward with that. That's exciting. So where are you located? Can you tell us a little bit about your space that you'll be worshiping in and working in?
Yeah, so like we said right from the beginning, we are in the community of Vestal, in the town of Vestal, New York. Originally, we had thought, man, it would be great to partner with one of the local schools and to use space in the school. And we just couldn't find a way to make that work that was sufficient for the school and worked really well for us. And so we were in this really crazy lurch for several months where we were, I don't want to say freaking out, but we were a little anxious about where is this new church going to meet. And we thought, it's going to be hard to squeeze 50, 60, 70, 100 people into our house. It's not that big. It is a tiny house. And yet, we tried to remind ourselves that God isn't going to call you somewhere without providing for you. God isn't going to call you to a task without giving you the means that you need. And the wildest thing happens. Some people in your viewership, some people in the area know of this church called New Life. New Life has several campuses. They had one in Owego and one in Vestal and one in Syracuse and one in Candor and a main site in Endicott. And New Life had this great campus in Vestal that was growing and doing well. And New Life went through some strategic planning of their own and said, what we need to do? We need to close some of these campuses and push people forward for the plans that we have next, for what God has next in store for us. And in the process of that, some of the leadership at New Life reached out to me and said, are you still looking for a location? And I said, why, yes, I am. And they said, you may want to look at our Vestal campus location, which is 400 Mirador Drive, right in Vestal. It's just off of Main Street. They said, you may want to look at this location because this has served us really well. It's been a great space for us, and it might be a good fit for you as well. And so we did. We talked with the New Life people. We reached out to the owners of the property there at 400 Mirador Drive, and we found them to be very willing and eager partners in ministry for us. And so that's where we're going to be located, is right at 400 Mirador Drive in Vestal, New York.
That's exciting.
We are excited.
Now, what kind of work had to be done or that you're doing to make that site ready and hospitable and all of that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just so we sign the lease on Wednesday. We start the lease, so we're really excited about that. We've started to get in there a little bit and set up our sound system and look through the space, and we're excited for the month of March to be in there and to make it a little bit more of our own during this time, and set up our children's ministry spaces and the worship space. And
now, what do you envision in this space? I mean, you envision a sanctuary or worship area and such things, and then children's ministry space also, or how?
So the building is 2 floors.
Okay.
So the main floor, the top floor, is sanctuary space. We've actually got that. We think we're going to seat about 150. That's how many chairs they have, but we think that's about what the space will hold.
Okay.
And so we've already begun to envision or set up the stage space, the front area for the worship team or the band. We've begun to lay out the seating and what that's going to look like, things for AV equipment, projection, and stuff like that. We've also been very, very blessed with a United Methodist Communications grant for some promotional materials, and that's going to help us create more of a lobby space in the back of that main floor. And so when people come in, they'll actually be greeted by a lobby and some coffee and hospitality. Downstairs, we envision that being our children's ministry space, and that's where we'll have a nursery, that's where we'll have several Sunday school classrooms, as well as a larger space for the children to do some worship of their own. And so we think we're going to utilize the space to its fullest potential, and surprisingly, not in a way that's very dissimilar from how it has been used in the past by previous churches.
Oh, that's fantastic. So let me ask this. As people gather, as you launch and move forward, what kind of experience can people expect? Can you say a little bit about your worship experience and what God has placed in your spirit moving forward?
Yeah, so I think one way I can explain is to give you a little glimpse into what we're hoping people experience is, for myself, thinking about our family, if we were to come in as new visitors, and John and I, and we have 3 kids, and so we would pull in, and there'll be a parking attendant to show you where to park, and you'll come to the front door where you'll be greeted. They'll tell you that there's the coffee station for free coffee, and then a welcome center so that you can go and get, if you want more information about the small groups that we have started, and what the church is about, what's our mission statement, what's our vision, all of these kinds of things they can find there. For us, with our 3 children, we would be welcome to go to the children's check-in station, where someone will greet you there to check in your children. You can get information about the children's ministry and what's provided. And then as a whole, we would go into worship as a family. Okay. And so all of us will worship together as one body to begin with. So kids, adults, all together. We'll have one song and a welcome. Someone will welcome everybody. And then there'll be a children's time, which is normally fun. Yes. Fun and kid-friendly. Okay. And then the kids, if they want to, are welcome to go downstairs for Sunday school or nursery. So, children are always more than welcome to be in our service. We love to have them. But there'll also be the children's ministry. And so volunteers will be in the back and help the kids go downstairs. And so they'll have their own time of worship together and split off into small groups on different grade levels. So that'll be offered. And then upstairs there'll be music, 3 songs of music, and a message. We like to say a relevant message, and then some more music. So it's really, our hope is that people will experience, they'll feel comfortable, they will, family friendly, that, we're one body. Yes. And ultimately our hope is that people feel the love of Christ, that's what we want to provide for them.
Oh, that's exciting. That's exciting. Now, one of the things that I know it's not on our list of questions, but one of the things, the slant of music, is there a way in which you're looking to go? Will it be, how will that manifest itself?
Yeah, that's great that you asked that, because we've talked around that a little bit. I know I mentioned, the worship team or the band, and I know Crystal talked about one song and a worship block of 3 songs and then a closing song. What we're talking about, and some people are really afraid to use this language because they feel like it's too old or it's too 1990s, but I think it gets the message across for people. What we're talking about is contemporary worship. If you prefer different language for the 2000 and teens, that is fine, but what we're talking about is guitars and drums, keyboard, vocalists, things like that. And so it would be more like the music you're going to hear on the radio than the organ or the organ accompanied by the piano, that kind of stuff. And really for us, part of the reason why we're doing that is the organ doesn't travel as well as the guitar does, right? It's easier for me to move a guitar than it is to move the organ. The other part of it is all the other United Methodist churches in our community, in our area, tend to rest, their strength tends to be in the traditional worship. And so we feel like it's really important for us to offer something distinct that's different. And then the final reason is that's just what Crystal and I have been successful with in our ministry. We've been in ministry for 15 years. That's where we've seen ministry grow, is in young families and with that more contemporary or newer worship music.
And putting that together has come easy, not easy, has been a challenge.
That has been a journey. It's interesting because when we first came here, again, we rested on this idea that God will provide, and I am not a musician. Like, I'm not even good at turning on the radio. I'm not even that. And so we knew we had an uphill battle with that to recruit that kind of a team or those kind of people. And we found that we could identify musicians that could be a part of a worship team, but we struggled finding that primary worship leader. Yes. And we were given a couple different names. We met with one person, we thought this is the person, and then that person said, I've got other commitments and I don't think I'm the person for you. Okay. We were given another name, I met with another person, I thought, this is the person. And that person said, you know what, I work every other weekend and this isn't gonna work for me. I think you need somebody here every week. And we were down to what we thought was kind of our last straw, and we were stressed out and worried, and we met with this person, and this person said to us, I've been praying about this, and I just really feel like God is telling me that this is where I need to be and what I need to do. And it was crazy because in that moment, I was praying and saying, God, is this the person for us? We think we have just a great fit for our team.
Wonderful.
A person who not only is going to be able to take leadership of what we're doing, but really grow with us as we grow moving forward. And so that is everything about this has been a journey. And yet at the same time, we feel like in every step of the process, God has really provided and shown us that God is faithful.
Yeah. Oh, that's exciting. That is absolutely exciting. Well, you said a little bit about this, but I just want to give you the opportunity maybe to expand on it if you choose to do so.